Hello, my marvellous sausages. Bungie have hit a new high in their storytelling this week in Destiny 2, and it's all thanks to these strange red mists that have started appearing around two separate areas in the Leviathan. Now, they weren't there last week, so it seems that they're coinciding with the new Sever Resolve mission that became available this week. Why are they so important? Well, if you've completed the 6 Sever missions, you will see the freshly saved souls of Uldren, we all know where that git is, Safiyah, which is Zavala's wife, and Ghaul as well, Keitel's stepbrother and General Red War instigator. Now, each time you run through one of these mists, scattered around the new Leviathan patrol zone, it'll give you a piece of audio lore, and that lore really fills in amazing vital backstory that puts meat on the bones of Zavala, Crow, and Keitel. It's really satisfying way of delivering these stories, and I can't recommend it enough that you spend a little bit of time tracking these mists down and listening to them all. Now, so far, I've had 8 different pieces of lore from Ghaul, who's a really interesting character and does a great job of painting Keitel's character as well as his. I've heard 5 so far from Uldren, talking about Crow and various other things, and they're doing a pretty good job of fleshing both of these characters out, because they are all, I suppose, 2 tokens or 2 sides of the same coin. I've also heard 5 from Safiyah, Zavala's wife, who he raised a child with, Hakim. It's a very sad story. We should all know it at this point because you've all played the Sever missions. But yes, it's really rather good. Now, the mists themselves are located in only 2 areas, the Royal Pools and the Pleasure Gardens, yes. Now, there can be more than one spawning in an area at once, but once you've listened to that particular one, it fades away. It doesn't mean it's faded away for good, it just means it's faded away for that instance. If you bugger off and come back in again, it could well have re-manifested. Now, the position of the clouds doesn't have any relation to which piece of lore you hear either. I've heard the same pieces of lore from different clouds in different locations within the Royal Pools and also within the Pleasure Gardens, and also they swap over as well, so there's no rhyme or reason to which one you'll hear or where you'll hear it, so unless, of course, there's a pattern that I've completely missed. But I have found a bit of a method to farm them, really, so spawn into the Royal Pools, for example. I'll show you a guide on where they all are, or at least all the mists and the positions that they spawn at that I've found so far. Listen to the ones that have spawned in your particular instance, and then bugger off to the Pleasure Gardens, do the same there, and then come back to the Royal Pools. And I was just going back and forth, and I've listened to, well, like I said, quite a lot of the entries, 18 so far in total, but I'm pretty sure there's more. Anyway, let me give you a quick guided tour of where I've seen all of these red mists spawn. Right, so here we are in the Royal Pools. Let me show you the locations of the various blah blah blobs or pieces of miasma. Well, there's usually one here. Well, I say usually, there can be one here. I've also had one spawn around about this area here as well. Now we'll do a counterclockwise walk. Now, I've seen one up on one of these daises. I believe it's this one. Could be that one though, but we do see them around here. We do have ones that materialize in the corner here, so there can be one here. These are all the places you can check, of course. I've seen one materialize down here in the center, though not that often. I've also seen one materialize up in this far left-hand corner here, so there's usually one in here, or there can be one in here. Now, I haven't seen one materialize in this center room at all. Not that I can remember. But let's keep on going through here. Now then, before we go into this end main hall, I've also seen one materialize between these 2 buildings here. So let's also go into the main hall area, and I've also seen another one in the Royal Pools, and this is the last one that I can find in the Royal Pools. It materializes behind this pillar here, so if you do that kind of circuit, you will be guaranteed to find one. But you may come in here and none may be active, but I'll just give it a few seconds and one of them will pop up. Right, so for farming these babies, what you want to do now then is go down into the Pleasure Gardens. So we're in this main building here, and you want to go off down this little corridor here, and this takes you directly to the Pleasure Gardens, which is far more, well, it's probably the same sort of area really to cover. It's one big open area, but there's lots more nooks and crannies in it than there seems to be in the Royal Pools. and there seems to be more locations for these red miasmas to form, but they are pretty easy to see. And sometimes I've had 2 or 3 spawn in the same area all at once. So it's not just one, it can have 2 or 3 as well. So here we go. Not royal pools, where are we? The pleasure gardens, yes. Sounds disgusting to me. Right then, first of all, I've had 2 spawn up here. One standing on this area and one up the back area here. I've seen 2 here. Over then to this side and over this area here, I've had one spawn around about here somewhere, yes. Now I've also had one spawn up on the top here as well, on the second dais round here. Just about here, I've had one spawn here. Jumping down, I've seen one spawn around this area here, and another one spawn up the back here as well. I've also seen, there we go, you can see, now there's 3 in this far corner. We've got that one there, you can see up on the older balcony. One on top of Callus's head here. I've also seen one spawn on this platform here. And I've also seen one spawn behind here as well. So there's also been one in here. And also finally in this area, that I'm aware of, I've seen one spawn up here too. Or it may be on that dais there. So they are very easy to spot, as you can see. And once you've obviously listened to them, they bugger off, but they do come back. There's no end to them, really. They just constantly respawn. And what I've been doing is traversing from one area to another to listen to every single one of them. Now, these pieces of lore don't seem to have any triumph attached to them. There doesn't seem to be an undiscovered secret triumph yet. There's nothing being spread around the interwebs, so who knows what's going to happen in the next weeks. It all is rather exciting. So there we go. Get out there, get tracking down these myths and get listening to all this backstory. It really is an excellent way of storytelling, and you can also use your time to farm for some weapons and finish some Leviathan triumphs too. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the vid, give me a like and subscribe. That would be utterly fantastic. And leave me a comment as well and let me know how many different pieces of lore you've listened to. I'm going to keep on trying, and if there's any more, I shall let you know. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you all again very soon. Sausage out.